Hi guys, so last night was the Strictly launch show and it was incredible. My friends and I absolutely loved every single second of it. We were fangirling over it all night and we just absolutely loved it. And I wanted to do an opinions video on it. I am planning to do an opinions video on all of the live shows and maybe the result shows if there's something that I want to talk about. Um, but yeah, so I wanted to talk about three aspects of the launch show in particular. I wanted to talk about the pairings and compare them to my predictions. I wanted to talk about the pro dances, especially the one with the judges in, because that's the one that I want to have a discussion about. And I want to talk about the new judge, Motsi. So we'll start with the pairings and I'll compare them to my predictions. So compared to my predictions, I only got 5 correct. I got Alex and Neil correct. I got David and Nadia, James and Luba, Jamie and Oti, and Saffron and AJ. They were the ones that I got correct. Some of the pairings did surprise me. I waited until the launch show to find out which ones I'd gotten correct. The only two that I found out prior to the show properly and confirmed were Emma Barton and Anton, and Annika and Kevin. They were the two that I found out prior to the show. There were a couple that I did hear, but I didn't know whether they were true or false. One of them turned out to be true, the other one turned out to be false, by the way. So overall, I really loved the pairings, although some of them were really unexpected, like Annika and Kevin, who I was absolutely convinced before I filmed my predictions video that Annika would go to Anton, but she didn't. She went to Kevin, which I'm actually kind of glad about, because although I don't entirely hate Kevin, in fact I think he's actually alright, he's just there for me, to be totally honest. He has had so many good partners. He's had Susanna, who went to the final. He had Frankie, who went to the final. He had Kelly, who went to the final. He had Louise, who went to the final. He had Susan, who took him past Blackpool, even though she wasn't technically the best dancer. He had Stacey, who won. So I thought, yes, it's high time that he got someone who isn't as technically good or as naturally talented, and he did get that this year, which I thought was perfectly fair, and I'm actually kind of interested to see how far she goes and how far he goes. So yeah, anyway, I love all of the pairings, although some of them I did think were rather unexpected, like I said. I could see why all of them were paired together, and I'm really looking forward to seeing how they all turn out. So it's a win-win situation in my eyes. So now let's go on to the more interesting conversation about the pro dancers. They had quite a few pro dancers last night. They had some to the music acts, including Kylie Minogue, who was just outstanding. But the one I'm here to talk about is the medley that they did with the judges dancing. They had each of the judges dancing in a little box. They had Shirley in the top box, they had Bruno there, they had Craig there, and then they had Motsi, who was outside of the box showing off her talents. And Craig got a lot of hate because people said that he wasn't as good as the other judges, and that he has no right to be judging when he cannot dance himself. I am here to tell you now that that is absolute bullshit. First of all, I didn't think he was that bad. In fact, I thought he was very good. Maybe that's just me being a completely biased Craig Rebel Howard fan, but you know, I think he really wasn't that bad. He was actually rather good. And please take into consideration the fact that this man has had 2 hip surgeries and has had 2 hips replaced. He's 54 going on 55. He hasn't danced professionally in 20 years, and by the way, I do not call dancing on a stage to easy street, and I don't call dancing in panto like professional dancing. Like, I consider it dancing, but I consider it the type of dancing that anybody with maybe 5 or 6 weeks practice could probably do. Like, the routine to Easy Street, although it was really, really good, and I loved the routine to Easy Street, the one that he did on Children in Need, it wasn't technically challenging. Like, I believe that genuinely anybody could do that to a decent degree, you know? Like, I genuinely don't think that that's like professional, like competitive level. He hasn't competed for years, so can we all just please cut him some slack? I mean, come on, everybody's complaining at him for everything. His judging style, saying comments about Stacey and Kevin's relationship, not being able to dance as well as Motsi. Well, can I remind you that Motsi is 20 years younger and is a professional dancer? And she's still dancing as well as judging. Can I remind you that Shirley also dances? Can I remind you that Bruno hasn't had 2 hits replaced? Thank you. Good night. Anyway, I shall stop talking about that because I turn into a bitch when I'm trying to defend my faves, and yeah. So anyway, let's go on to the new judge just quickly before my camera storage runs out. So I really, really, really love Motsi. I wasn't so sure about her when she was announced because I was a huge Darcy fan and I was like, she can't replace her. And although Motsi will never replace Darcy for me, because they just aren't the same people, I genuinely love Motsi, and I think that if they have to have a replacement for Darcy, she's probably the best one to fill her shoes. I think she's really, really lovely. She seems really sweet. She gets on really well with Craig, which is all that matters to me. She gets on well with Shirley. She gets on well with Bruno. She's an outstanding dancer and she's bloody gorgeous. So what more could you want? Anyway, hope you enjoyed this video and I'll be back with more opinions videos later in the series.